Stop, you're just blowing up nothing. Fuck my life.
Are you talking? Are you talking? Are you talking? Are you talking?
Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit cozy and I da-ba-da-ba-da. Hello, everybody. Were you surprised? Were you surprised that I started singing so beautifully? I wasn't. I know how beautifully singing I can do stuff. I'm a little rusty. I got a request to talk a little bit about Battlefield 4, and I figured what better way to expound endlessly about Battlefield than by playing the full 17-minute single-player gameplay trailer that was released for you, and blabbing over the top of it, so if you haven't actually seen it yet, you won't be able to hear anything that they're saying. But look how gorgeous this is, and that doesn't matter to me. Because video games, they get more and more beautiful every year. But if the gameplay is not solid, then who cares, right? But and yes, this is a single-player trailer, but it's all the same engine. This isn't like, you know, Medal of Honor, Medal of Honor 2010. I hate calling it that since that's not what it was called, but Medal of Honor where DICE did the multiplayer and Danger Close or whatever did the single player, and so that they were completely different control schemes and games, but that's not how Battlefield works, and so this will be representative, except for, of course, these kind of cutscene type moments, but of multiplayer, so we can talk about multiplayer here, although the single player does look like it's going to be pretty damn awesome as well. But let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Other than the graphical upgrade and some slight changes to the heads-up display, this looks like it's going to play exactly like Battlefield 3. And that is a very good thing. Why mess with perfection? There was a lot of rough edges, still are a lot of rough edges on Battlefield 3, even on the PC, which is the development platform, which it will be on Battlefield 4 as well, which is the way it should be, even though I will be playing Battlefield 4 as I played Battlefield 3 on consoles. PC is the lead platform for Battlefield, and it always should be. And that's just my opinion. I know that it didn't work out that way for the Bad Company series, and those ended up being good games, but the original Bad Company's control scheme sucked. Bad Company 2 was a pretty solid game. It just felt a little... I don't know. There was something missing. It didn't grab me like Battlefield 3 did, or still does. I still love Battlefield 3, but especially when you get later on in this, you'll see some of the shooting gameplay, and you'll notice obviously the differences to the heads-up display. One of the main things I notice is now that when you sprint, the HUD will bounce around, and actually parts of it will slide off the screen, which is okay. That's an interesting kind of dynamic to the way the HUD is. Who knows if that's how it'll be in the full game. But they've kind of made it look a little elegant. The colors are a little softer. It's not that harsh neon blue, and I like that. But yeah, I mean, if Battlefield 4 plays exactly like Battlefield 3, but with better destruction and slightly improved graphics, then victory. You know, then that's perfect. That's what I want, right? I am a evolution over revolution guy when it comes to games. For instance, and I've talked about this at length over the past several years. You know, where I don't know. I'll try and keep it general so that I don't have to bring up that other series. But when a game is good, really good, don't go fucking around with the core pieces of it in future versions. Polish what's good, and whatever was bad, make it better. This is just gorgeous, and we'll talk about graphical differences, obviously, here in just a minute with consoles. But I feel if the core gameplay is good, that you don't mess with it. You can increase the graphics as necessary. Don't sacrifice gameplay for graphics, you know. I don't know if I would have... I don't know if it would have been preferable for me with Battlefield 3 to take the graphical downgrade that the Bad Company games had in order to get the destructibility that the Bad Company games had, because I know it was on the updated Frostbite engine. So the graphics were there, and they had to dial down some of the destruction, even in the PC version, because of the constraints of the console. And so I like the destruction aspect of it, and you see some of that in this trailer, which is really encouraging, because the destruction part of Bad Company 2 was amazing. Like, it just changed the game, the way that you played and the way you could get to objectives through walls and moving dynamically. It made things a lot more dynamic. I mean, imagine if Battlefield 3, if they're, you know, it's laid out in like basically a concrete underground bunker, but like in Operation Metro, if there was a wall that you could blow through, so instead of being stuck at the meat grinder, you know, you could go through a side hallway and blow an entrance to, you know, through the wall to create an alternate route so you don't get pinned down. You know, this maps that are designed with that dynamic destruction in mind tend to be balanced better towards that time of gameplay, and it helps cut down on some of the gridlocks that you get in some more linear kind of restrained maps. Although a map like Metro plays really well for what it's intended to be. It's not intended to be real dynamic. It's intended to be kind of a in-your-face, punching, you know, just murdering each other, you know, push, advance, suppression fire kind of thing. And I like that too, but yeah, the destruction aspects I'm excited for. And that's actually what you're going to see here in a second when he whips out his... what's the military designation for the 6-shot grenade launcher? M134? I don't even know. He's got the little sawed-off shotgun. Here it goes. Come on, get it out. There we go. Boom. This blow up a wall, flanking route, horrible. Whoever's playing this game for this demo, come on. If you're going to release a 17-minute gameplay trailer, get a good run at it. Don't let dipshit can't aim a shotgun do it. Getting sidetracked. Let's talk about, the gameplay looks like it's going to be solid. This is going to be Battlefield 3 gameplay on the upgraded Frostbite engine. More destruction. Good. Yay, yay, yay. So let's talk about the upgrades. Let's talk about PC being the lead platform. They're going to take better advantage of it because the console platforms, the primary console platforms, as of now, are going to be PlayStation 4 and presumably the unannounced Xbox Durango, whatever that's going to turn out. They need to hurry up and announce that because PlayStation 4 has now been officially announced. You know, if the rumors about the Xbox are true, then it's been mostly announced, technical spec-wise. But let's get an official. I want Microsoft to come out and say, Holiday 2013, Xbox is going to come out right alongside the PlayStation because Xbox 360 beat PlayStation to market by what, a year and a half, maybe more? And if the PlayStation 4 beats the next Xbox to market, that'll be disappointing, especially because I want the next Xbox to be available on Battlefield 4 launch. Like, I want Battlefield 4... I don't even know if I want it to be a launch title for the console. I want the console to be out before Battlefield 4 comes out. If they come out at the same time, okay. If I have to wait a month after Battlefield 4 comes out before the new Xbox comes out, then I'm going to be a little upset. And some of you may be picking up what I'm putting down here when I'm talking. I'm not planning on getting the PlayStation 4 day one out of the box. I'm just not, because I plan on the Xbox being my primary console going forward. I bought the PS3. I got a PS3 shortly after launch by about a couple of weeks. Maybe a month after launch, probably just a couple of weeks after launch. Before I even had a 360. You know, a couple buddies of mine had the 360, but I had a PS3 before I had an Xbox 360. And it got to the point with the PS3 that the games were coming out on the 360 and they were being delayed on the PS3 because it was more difficult to you know, to develop for, and they were being delayed so long, I got fed up, and I was like, I'm not going to wait for this game to come out on the PS3. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get an Xbox 360 so I can get these multi-platform games when they come out. And, you know, I'll definitely get a PS4 at some point, I'm sure, especially if they continue doing Uncharted games. Because that's really what my PlayStation 3 has been resigned to. It's a Blu-ray player, which the next Xbox is supposedly going to have a Blu-ray drive in it. And the PlayStation 3, I've got a launch PS3, so it's ungodly loud, even as a Blu-ray player. So, new Xbox as a Blu-ray player, all I really use other than Blu-ray on the Xbox or on the PlayStation 3 is playing the Uncharted games. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of many other first-person Sony titles. I was a huge Gran Turismo fan, but Forza has eclipsed that in my mind. But anyway, I'm not trying to start a fanboy war here. I want them to announce the Xbox so I can be sure that I'm going to have a new Xbox when it's ready. You know, when it comes out and when Battlefield 4 is here. Because supposedly, here's the way it's going to work, is you're most likely going to get 64 players on Battlefield 4 on PC. And you're most likely, it's not been officially announced to my knowledge, you're also going to get 64 players on the PlayStation 4 and the next Xbox. That, you know, because they're going to be, you know, PC gaming quality consoles, although, of course, by the nature of the PC, they will be already outdated when they launch, but superior in user interface and compatibility with a multitude of games. That's hard to argue. Which is why I prefer consoles. I love sitting on my couch. I love using a controller when I play. I love the ease of use of a console. I love knowing that every game I throw in that console is going to work, and I'm not going to have to update video drivers or, you know, all that bullshit. So I love the standardization that a console gives, because if I want to get on and play a game, I don't want to fucking dick around. I want to throw the disc in there, and I want to play. I don't even want to have to install the PlayStation 3 on like games like Metal Gear Solid 4, which was an awesome game. There was a mandatory install before you could even play the game, and a lot of PlayStation games were like that. And even during the game, there were additional installs where you'd get partway through the game and it had to install new content onto the console before you could move on. And waiting for that bullshit, the PlayStation 4 is supposedly going to fix that stuff. Like, for instance, if you download a game from the marketplace or whatever, you can play it as it's downloading in the background. And it will have background system updates, which I hate that you had to pay for the PlayStation 3 when they finally got around to giving system updates to where they could be installed automatically. It was only a part of the PlayStation Plus service, which is horseshit. Because one of the things I always hate about playing games on my PlayStation 3 is whenever I turn the fucking thing on, I have to install an update, which takes an hour. Hell, a quarterly dashboard update for the Xbox 360 takes like 25 minutes. You know, and those come out every few months, a couple times a year. PlayStation 3 updates come out every fucking 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like, and they take 3 to 4 times as long. Let's talk about some Battlefield more. I'm getting... Let's just say, my eggs are in the Xbox basket until further notice, especially since with the PlayStation being a Japanese console, a lot of their good, high-quality first-party games and console exclusive games tend to be Japanese kind of games, RPGs and stuff like that I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a big fan of the genre. The Xbox is American. It's got a lot of shooters and racing and blowing shit up. And yes, I know that stuff's on PlayStation as well, but the Xbox, it fits, right? Plus, I'm going to get to carry forward my gamer tag and all that stuff. And I don't know. I was a Sony fanboy since the PlayStation 1 through the PlayStation 2, and even at the beginning of the PlayStation 3. And then when the PlayStation 3 was a higher technology, inferior gaming console to the Xbox 360, they just kind of lost me a little bit. But so yeah, basically you'll get good graphics, not this quality graphics if I had to bet on the next gen consoles, but still good, right? But this is going to be PC quality graphics here. The newer consoles will be slightly less than this, but probably not much. And then they are also supposedly going to release it as well on PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And it will be severely downgraded for those. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, or if it'll even really be the same game, or if it's going to get like the Wii treatment that games did for like Call of Duty in this generation, where they're like, well, this is also going to be on the Wii, but it's going to be a rail shooter, and it's just going to be inferior in every way. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but I'm not concerned. I'm not getting Battlefield 4 for the Xbox 360. If the next Xbox isn't going to come out around PlayStation 4 launch, or around... yeah, at the same time as Battlefield 4, the PlayStation 4 launch. Will I get a PlayStation 4 just to play Battlefield 4? That's a tough question to answer. And I'm not going to answer it right now because I don't know. But needless to say, this game looks badass. And I'm excited to see what they got for multiplayer. I'm not expecting it to be a regime change from Battlefield 3, and I don't think it should be. If they start tweaking with it too much, it's gonna go south. It's gonna be bad. And if you think about it, for the most part, from a standpoint of Battlefield 2 to Battlefield 3, Battlefield 3 didn't change a whole lot of the Battlefield 2 formula. They gave you more flexibility and kit setup and stuff like that, but they didn't fundamentally change the game for the most part. You know, they added Rush out of the Bad Company series, but basically it was an evolution, and I hope that Battlefield 4 stays true to Battlefield and doesn't try to add in a bunch of pop bullshit. And I don't think they will, but you know, never say never. So yeah, I blab on a lot, and it looks like we're already to the end of this trailer. Yeah, I'm hopefully going to get more stuff on the channel. As you may have noticed, I talked all the way through the video, didn't even address the fact that there's a new intro on this video. So let me know what you guys think about Battlefield 4. What do you think about the next generation consoles? What you think about the new intro? Tell me what you guys think about everything. Fill up the comments. I don't give a shit. Put 10, 15 comments in there. Let's get going again. I'm going to try and start getting more stuff out. I did spend some time on the intro, and some of my branding is ironed out. But, hey, what are you going to do? I'll talk to you guys later. Peace!